Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. We are going to be doing a first impressions on the brand new Zenith palette from Mez Beauty. Who is Mez Beauty, you ask? Well, let me tell you. If you've been watching me for some time now, Mez Beauty was actually a brand that I discovered last year. When I was doing my new makeup releases video, Jamie posted about this swarthy palette from this brand, Mez Beauty, and I was like, who's that? And then after doing a little bit of digging, I figured out that it was a black-owned brand. And it was a Black Caribbean-owned brand. So, you know, my little Trini backside was like, absolutely yes. And they had this swarthy palette that they were putting out. And the thing that really pushed me over the edge was that the palette was like $24. And in this economy, and at that point in time, I was becoming extremely frustrated with indie prices. So a $24 eyeshadow palette was like, absolutely yes. Since then, I've become an affiliate with the brand. I did get this one in PR. And this is going to be sort of like the second real palette that I've tried from the brand. So I have high hopes because I really enjoyed the swarthy palette. And I'll try to link that video down below so you guys can check it out. So you can see the quality that was there, why I enjoyed it, and why I was super excited for this new release. So this new release is going to be the Zenith palette. Now, this is very different from the last one in terms of color story. We do have that purple blue. And what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you guys some swatches, some product details, and basically, you'll see me demo this. I'll do two eye looks and then I'll come back and wrap things up with my overarching thoughts. Before we dive into anything though, if this is your first time, welcome. I'm Jamila. I love all things beauty, and on my little corner of the interwebs, I like to share any tips, best practices, little things you can do to save the most money, because I don't believe in paying full price for makeup, and in this economy, I don't think any of us should have to. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the fam. So, quick product details. This is the Zenith palette from Mez Beauty. This is what the packaging looks like. The box that it comes in looks the exact same way, so you absolutely do not need to keep it if you don't want to. It has the name Zenith on top, and on the box it actually says Mez Beauty on the bottom. In terms of other details, you have all of the ingredients in the back here, so you can check this out if you have certain sensitivities. It also says that this is vegan, cruelty-free, and has a 24-month shelf life, which is a pretty decent amount. Once you open it up, that sort of gold packaging carries through, and I'm sorry that the light is kind of causing this to look really strange. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes, 2, 4, 5 satins, and then 1 true shimmer. So this palette is a mix of mattes, satins, and shimmers. So I think that's pretty much it for it. One thing I will say about the packaging that is missing is that it doesn't say where this is made. So I don't know if this is made in USA, China. I can't tell you guys. I'm gonna guess China, but probably something I can follow up with the brand about. And lastly, this retails for $30. I do have an affiliate code with the brand. It's just Jamila20. It'll save you 20% off. And I will get a kickback from that. So just wanted to make that very clear, very transparent for you guys. So that all of that information will be down in the description box below, as well as the link to purchase this if you are interested. Now let's go ahead and dive into 2 demos, and then I'll come back and wrap things up with my first impressions thoughts. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna jump straight in with the sort of peachy shade called Summit and use that as my transition shade. Then dusting off the brush, I'm going to go into Peak, and I'm going to put that right underneath that first shade, and we're going to start to build up some depth. So far, these mattes are very soft, and I will say you do have to go in a few times to get pigment and to build things up. It's not necessarily a bad thing because it's easier to build up than it is to blend out, in my opinion. But I do want to point out that these are really soft. I'm starting to live in the moment while you're on cloud 9. Yeah, just take your time. Next, I'm going to go into the deep chocolate brown, and I'm going to use that in my outer V. actually more red than it is brown. Yeah, that's definitely more red than it is brown. And this one does pack a punch in terms of pigment. I'm just switching into the first brush that I had those two first shades, and then I'm just kind of like blending over the sort of edges where they meet with that deep reddish brown. Or should I call it a brownish red? We'll come back to that, but this is what the eyes are looking like right now. Now it's time to go into the shimmers. As you can see, the shimmers here are very, very soft, pretty much satins. So I'm gonna keep this like a really, really simple look. This is the only really sparkly looking shimmer. I kind of want to put this chocolate one on the eyes. It's more like a brown than anything else. So let me just patting that into the outer corner here a little bit to see how I feel about it. It's not bad. I don't want to add too much of this though, because I feel like this one is actually probably slightly deeper than the red. So yeah, see, just kind of gently adding a little bit of that into this outer part here. Honestly, these shimmers are so soft that they could be, and by soft I mean like subtle, you could use them as mattes. So this would be for could be a good one and done kind of thing. Or if you are a matte girly through and through, you might actually like this because it gives a little bit of shine without being a shimmer. Then I'm gonna go into this peachy shade right here, and that's really gonna be the bulk of the lid. So I'm just gonna plop that all over the lid. Oh wait, there's a whole mauve shade here. I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit of that too. Live in the moment while you're on cloud nine. Yeah, just take your time. And all of the matching tattoos, I thought we'd earn them. Okay, I'm actually gonna take a little bit of the mauve. How do you guys say that? And then I'm gonna just put that in between those two shimmers. Yeah, things don't change. I've gotta do better than you for me. Okay, this is what the eyes are looking like. I'm gonna go ahead, clean everything up, come back and show you guys the final look. Okay, I'm back and this is the final face. Just so you guys know, I am also wearing two new products, well, three kind of, on the face. For my foundation, I did go in with my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm. I'm pretty sure I mixed up the name of that. It's Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. Okay, that's what I'm using as my foundation. That's the shade 8.5. My Rare Beauty Concealer, that's been my go-to for a minute now. But the new products that I'm trying out, and there is going to be a separate video on this, is the Rem Beauty Bronzer and the Rem Beauty Blush from their Hypernova line. And I also did pick up the setting spray from that line as well. So I'm trying that out to see how it sits on the skin. I'm using my Blend Bunny mascara. This is actually such a really nice, comfortable mascara, you guys. It really is just a solid, good mascara, as they said it was. It doesn't get crunchy, it doesn't get flaky, so your lashes are still like, they still move a bit. I don't know if that matters for people who need curls in their lashes. Like mine are just very basic, they're just there, but I really like it. I think it works really, really well. For my highlights, I did go in my discontinued highlight from Pat McGrath. She did bring this back from her vault for a little bit. This is the Divine Rose highlighter. So I don't know if is her vault still open? Who knows? But that's pretty much it for this. So I really like this look so far. It is a satin look. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If you don't like satin eyeshadow, you're not gonna like this. I do want to try one other look with this palette because it does have those blues in there, so I want to see what they will look like on my skin tone. But so far, this is cute. This is very, very cute. All right, let's do one more look with this palette, and then I'll wrap things up at the end. Okay, so for look number 2, we're gonna go in with Peak as the transition shade today, and we're just gonna plop that into the crease. Next, we're gonna go into this blue shade. I don't know how to feel about this because I feel like it's a really pretty blue, but it is kind of light in terms of like depth. Like, is this considered royal blue? So I feel like it's gonna give color. But not true depth, you know what I mean? Okay, so this is a finicky blue. The more you blend, the more it like disappears and you start to get a little bit of patchiness. So I'm trying to be gentle and more like tap it into place and lightly blend it out, because as soon as I start blending, it kind of just like disappears. And I want that opacity. Okay, I'm gonna clean off this brush, and then I'm going to do something that might be really, really stupid and ruin this look. But I'm gonna go into Apex, which is technically a shimmer, but honestly, you guys, these shimmers are so satin-like that you can use them as mattes. So I'm going to plop that into the outer part of into the outer part of the eye, just to see if we can deepen up this corner a little bit. I missed that little feeling when I kissed your face. I was feeling so warm, now I'm feeling so cold. Can you come and hold me? I don't think I'm okay. Tell me that you're okay. Every single time. Okay, it's not really adding much depth, if I'm being honest. The more I add, the more fallout I'm getting. Okay. Let's leave that there for now, shall we? And then there are like two blue shimmers. So this one is a satin. And then we have like a true shimmer. Oh, interesting. So I think I want to put this into the inner part of the eye, and then start with the satin shade, which is called Success. Start building up. Oh, that's pretty. So I'm just putting that in the center, kind of like blending it into the mattes a little bit. You were so cold that you drove me crazy. Don't know where to go, lose control. Think I need to let it go. And then taking the true shimmer, which I definitely picked up too much of, which is more like a silvery blue than anything else. And I'm plopping that into the front of the lid, blending that into the first shade. Okay, you guys see the vision, so I'm just gonna go in with a brush, start cleaning things up, and then I'll be back to show you guys the final look. Okay, so I'm back, and this is the final eye look. I'm not mad at it. Okay, so but let's get into my overarching thoughts of the new Zenith palette. Now, overall, I do think that this is a nice palette. It is really pretty, but I do think that this is going to be for a particular type of person, because the reality is these shimmers are satins. Like, you can't really call them shimmers. They're satins, with the exception of this one. This is the only true shimmer in this palette. Everything else is a bit of a satin, and if you don't like satins, then you're not gonna like this. And I know a lot of people want something that's a little bit more sparkly, a little bit more reflective. This is, I think, good if you want to do an all matte eye look, or if you want something that looks all matte with like the tiniest, and I mean the tiniest bit of shine, because you're not gonna get anything that's super reflective. So I think there's that. One thing I do want to flag is that I felt like this blue was a little bit finicky. Like, it gives really nice, bright, kind of royal blue with a lot of impact, but then on the eyes, it kind of, it doesn't have the same level of pigment, and once you start blending, it really does kind of disappear. So I feel like I struggled with that a little bit. One thing I will say for this look is that I did end up going in with this brownish reddish shade in the corner, because the deep brown didn't really do much. You guys saw that. So to help give me a little bit of depth, I went in with the reddish shade, which ended up turning this purple. And one thing I will say about this look overall is I feel like it looks more purple than it does blue. I don't know if it's my skin tone. I don't think I did anything special, but I feel like, even, you know, the mattes, the shimmers, everything kind of pulled into a blue, into a purpley look. If you look really hard, it looks blue. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. Does this look more blue or does it look more purple to you guys? Because I feel like I see more purple than I do see blue. But that's just me. Other than that, the other mattes I felt like performed really well. They blended really nicely. They layered really nicely. Didn't really have a ton of fallout, except when I tried to layer this on top of the blue. That's the only real thing. That's pretty much it. Now, one thing I would have liked is if this satin dark brown shade was just like a regular standard matte. That, I think, would have been better for me. And I didn't use this shade. I think this is the only shade in the palette that I didn't use, other than as an inner corner highlight. And this is kind of one of those duochrome shades. So it looks white in the pan, but it has like a purple tint to it once you put it on the eyes. So I actually used that as my inner corner highlight, and it turned out really, really pretty. Again, it's a satin, so it's not going to be like one of those crazy reflective multi-chrome, dual-chrome shades. That being said, I do really enjoy this palette. I think that it has a place in my collection, because you guys know I tend to sit in that sort of indie space. I really have a ton of those like hyper sparkly shades. So this does fill a void in my collection, because I don't have any like really just decent satins. Like, and that's what I think this palette gives me, is some really, really nice satin. So if you are on the market for some really nice satins, I think you're gonna like this one. But I do want to say this is for a very particular person. Now, this is the second palette that I have tried from the brand. The first one was their Swarthy palette. I do think I like that one a little bit more, because that one has more standout shimmers. It is a neutral palette, a warm neutral palette at that. So if you are somebody that likes a little bit more sparkle, I would say check that one out first. Now, if you were interested in picking this up, I will say that it is quite affordable. You guys know how I feel about expensive makeup. This palette retails for $30. You can use Jamila20 to get 20% off of your purchase, which puts this in the $20 range, you guys. Like, when was the last time you saw a palette that was in the $20 range? Like, that's why I really appreciate this brand, because I do think we need more indie brands on the market that are affordable. I think we have a ton of indie brands out there, but they all tend to skew or lean pretty much high-end luxury pricing, and there isn't a lot of like diversity in terms of the pricing when it comes to indie makeup, in my opinion. So when there are more affordable indie brands, I try to shout them out, like Mez Beauty, like Limelight, hell, even Odin's Eye, you know. So definitely check it out if you are interested in this palette. And that's it for me, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on this palette. Let me know which look you preferred. Leave that all in the comments below. If you don't know what to comment, go ahead and leave an orange heart, just so that, you know, the algorithm likes me a little bit more. But that's really it for me, guys. I appreciate you all so much more than you know. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more. And I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.